There is no bathroom.
Arby's, we have the meat.
The kids are soft.
Won't you ride my white horse?
Why shotgun? Coach. Chocolate chip. Mom. Transgender. Father.
Live from Command Center Alpha 1, it's the Our Big Dumb Mouth podcast. Now, here's your hosts, Midnight Mike, Juicy Joe,
Wrong.
a.k.a. Flametown,
Wrong.
and Gretchen.
Wrong.
Incorrect.
Fake news.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another fun-filled podcast adventure. Yay! My name's Midnight Mike. Over there on screen is Booberry from Behind the Schemes with 3 podcast. And his co-host, Lavish, is over there as well.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It is Behind the Schemes, but instead of E's, you're using 3s.
But only in schemes.
Yeah,
Only in schemes.
Yeah. Okay. It's a very new metal way to name your podcast.
Thanks. I still haven't figured out how to actually pronounce it with the existential quantifiers that are used, the same backwards E's that Eminem throws down with. So there's even weirder pronunciations out there. More impossible ways to spell it.
Yeah, you know, you'll get there. You'll get there eventually. You'll figure it out.
If there's a 4-dimensional way to spell it, we'll find it.
Cretched is not here. He is on a fact-finding mission, trying to find all the facts. And Joe is not here as well. Joe did take the time to send in another voicemail. He loves to leave these voicemails for us, and just to keep us up to date with what he's doing in his life. And this is all the wonderful things that he had to say.
Hi, this is Joe from the Our Big Dumb Mouth podcast. Sorry, can't be on the show today. I'm too busy abusing old people. That's right. I love going to old folks' homes and smacking food out of their hands and telling them that their kids are never coming to visit. Then I take them to the Golden Corral so I can use their senior discount. They have those awesome baby back ribs again. Enjoy both baby back ribs and chicken tenders at the same time at Golden Corral for a limited time at dinner. Weekdays after 4 p.m. Weekend hours, items, and participation may vary. Remember, always cookie alst fast feel hage de kinken.
Oh wow, he did. It sounds like he did like a little some sort of like Nordic language at the end there.
It's a pagan call.
Yeah, there you go.
Summoning stuff, old stuff.
Joe's
the old gods.
Joe's at the Golden Corral.
Now, please stand on the pentagram at the Golden Corral.
Last time I went to the Golden Corral was probably I was in college, and I think I got food poisoning.
I believe it.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy going into the Golden Corral. You know,
it's a risk you take.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear it's tasty, though.
I mean, if you're a poor college kid at that point, anything that's not school food is it's pretty good. But I doubt I'll go back again until I turn 65 and I get those sweet, sweet senior discounts that Joe's talking about.
Oh, it's coming. Oh, Lord, it's coming.
Oh, boy. I'm double fisting water over here. I got coffee in my Lieutenant Worf mug. All hail Star Trek. Yes, all hail Star Trek.
I know that.
I bet he's on Cameo.
Yeah,
Mr.
I
Worf.
bet he is. Before the show, we're talking about Star Trek cast and crew members on Cameo. And Lavish was saying, like, Brent Spiner, a.k.a. Data, charges, what, $400 a cameo?
Yeah, that's right. It's a crime.
It is. That's a lot.
You don't tell me how to behave. You're not my mother.
Yeah, well. Speaking of stars and trekking and science fiction and wonderfulness, I do have quite a bit of stuff on Skinwalker Ranch today. Or, I don't know, maybe people are sick and tired of me talking about it. I know if Joe is listening to the show while he's eating at Golden Corral. He's probably saying to himself, Mike, not again. Enough with the Skinwalker Ranch. And I promise I will stop talking about this once this season is over. And I got to say, thus far, they're on episode 8. And even David Paulides, the author of the Missing 411 books, who has been reviewing every single episode of this most recent season, he's kind of checked out. He's basically saying, come on, guys. You guys are rehashing the same stuff. You guys aren't really doing anything interesting here. It's like literally there's 5 minutes of like interesting stuff per 40-minute episode in Skinwalker Ranch, and why I haven't been covering it every week, because there just hasn't been that much new, interesting information. Now, what I'll bring forth today is just a few clips and then some, I guess, interpretations of what may be going on there at Skinwalker Ranch. Lavish, do you know about Skinwalker Ranch? You know about this thing?
I know about Skinwalker Ranch. I'm looking at it now. Ballard, Utah. Site of paranormal and UFO activities. The Skinwalker of Navajo legend. Yes, the cryptid Skinwalker.
Yes.
Of course.
So, and for anybody who doesn't know, this has been a place of paranormal activity that ranges from Bigfoot to Dogman to UFOs to cattle mutilations to poltergeists to apparitions, orbs, everything. It is the Walmart of paranormal activity. And there are people out there trying to catalog and document and provoke this stuff to figure out what may be going on. And in the most recent episode, they did capture something on trail cam for a very brief moment and of very low quality. It wasn't,
of course,
it wasn't like the brand new 4K trail cam. It looks like they didn't have the budget to buy that. They bought the 1080p version. But this is a little clip of the show. I'll put up on screen what they're looking at here. I can't play the video, but I can show the screenshot. That's all that is important. And so if you want to take a look at this live, go to twitch.com to see this and just search for OBDM Pod, and you'll see this image right here. It's up on screen. And here's the audio of what they're talking about.
Whoa. Back that up. Yeah, back that up. What was that?
I'm just running through it, frame by frame.
What?
Like a silver orb. Looks like a silver orb or something.
Oh, it was something. It was really quick. Do we have the possibility to like pause it and then like scrub through it?
Yeah. So this is gonna be frame by frame here.
Didn't you see it? It was like some little quick flash there.
I saw over in this area there, yeah.
So what they're looking at is what appears to be a large metal orb sitting in the field. And it only existed on the trail cam for one frame. So I'm assuming that the trail cam is filming, maybe 30 frames per second. That's the fairly a standard frames per second. So it zipped in, zipped out real quick. It appears to be metallic. That's what I'll say. It does appear to be reflecting some of the colors of the surrounding environment. It looks to be a good distance away from the trail cam. There's not much more going on with this silver orb. We don't know if this is one of the same silver orbs that the UAP community was talking about that have been seen all over the globe. But it fits the description if you're asking for what they're seeing. It's a silver orb. It almost looks like the Mosul orb that they were talking about in the committee a few weeks ago as well. They didn't do much follow up with this incident. I'm not sure if there's much more they could do. They basically cataloged this as an interesting photographic anomaly. Look, there is a genuine UFO there. It appears to be an object, and they kind of left it there. But for a daytime sighting, pretty interesting, I guess.
The daytime sightings are a little more rare.
Yeah.
So it's always nice to get one in the books.
It is fairly rare, and most of the times at the Skinwalker Ranch, when they are doing like sort of data collection during the day, they'll have like instrument malfunctions, they'll have spikes in microwave radiation, they'll have equipment go down, maybe even some poltergeist activity. Typically, when there are lights in the sky or UAPs, they're seen in the sky at night, which they just appear to be glowing orbs. Not really metallic in nature, I suppose. But here's it looks like a metallic orb sitting, kind of lounging, being lazy in the grass there, absorbing the sun, maybe sunbathing right there. Now, David Paulides, he did comment on this most recent episode. David Paulides from Missing 411, and they were talking about in this episode of Skinwalker Ranch that they found some interesting ground anomalies. Like there's something below the surface on Skinwalker Ranch that appears to be grid-like. There's something buried below, and they found that out by using like LiDAR and different aerial like measurements pointing down at the ground to measure what may be below the surface of the ranch. And they found some sort of grid going on there that they don't know the nature of, what it really is, but it appears to be metallic in nature, and this is what David Paulides is speculating about.
4 years ago, I was having a conversation with a physicist, a really good friend of mine named Bruce Maccabee. And we had a conversation about Skinwalker Ranch. And this is right before this show started. And he had read all the items that I had read, and he thought that there was a possibility it was some advanced, for lack of a better word, antenna for whatever entity is in that area. And then when Travis says, well, this is a circuit board.
So they also, he was speculating that not only is what is below the ground possibly like manufactured in nature. In a previous review, he was alluding to possible use of this kind of like mechanical wiring or whatever's below the surface is actually part of a larger antenna and is used as a communication network for whatever they're talking to around the globe. And that might,
or maybe further.
Yeah, or maybe further. Yeah, we don't know. We don't really know. But whatever, so when they see spikes in radiation, especially at the 1.6 gigahertz, which is commonly used for satellite communication, maybe that makes more sense. And so I was clued into a book called Quantum Paranormal by Patrick Jackson, and thanks to Herman from Holland for recommending this. Happy birthday, by the way, Herman.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Herman.
He's a lot of birthdays in Gemini season.
Yeah, there are a lot of birthdays. I don't know if I mean, I'm a Sag, you know?
Classic Sag.
You know,
Are you ready for some hot Sag action?
You know, I like some Geminis, but come on, you know? My wife's a Gemini.
Nice. Okay. So you've been indoctrinated.
I am. Yeah, I am.
Part of the solution now.
Yeah, so, you know, we're on opposite ends, so we balance each other out very nicely.
Yeah, she provides you the fuel to stay lit.
I would say that's probably true. Without her, I would probably flame out. I would have ended it a long time ago. But back to
thank God.
Thank you, Naked Gardener.
Thank God.
I was, a few years ago, I was tying it I was burning the candle on both ends. You know, if you know what I'm saying, like taking it to the extremes. I really was.
Tying it loose, hanging even looser.
Mm-hmm. But she does. She grounds me, thanks to the Geminis. But back to what Herman recommended to me was the book Quantum Paranormal by Patrick Jackson, who I reached out to. He hasn't gotten back to me on Twitter. He's far too busy. Even though we have comparable Twitter followers and numbers, He's far too busy to talk to the likes of Midnight Mike.
Look, I'm a peer. That's what you tell him.
That's
Hey,
what
look, it's me.
That's what I was getting at, Lavish. Is like, listen, you're not really that much bigger than me. You think you're better than me to not talk to me? But he's a smart, and he's an IT dude. I'm an IT dude, you know? I figured we could sit around and talk about Python and then his book. But no, he doesn't want to do that. But he did write a pretty interesting book called Quantum Paranormal. And in relation to what we just talked about at Skinwalker Ranch, Orbs, a possible grid system below the surface of Skinwalker Ranch, I'll read just a few things, excerpts from his book in relation to orbs and what they could be. So he says, with each location operating at a similar distance to the next, each location could be what one could describe as a hard node, like a communications node. Meaning in order for the rest of the network to operate, the spheres need to be assigned to that location. The hard nodes are active, meaning they don't only broadcast signals to each other in a chain, but they also can form and communicate to spheres in the surrounding location. In other words, this appears to be a stealthy ground-based communications network relaying signals from the sky and pushing the signal or data across the country, the same process that our satellites use for its communication network, but kind of in reverse. He says that this is consistent with the analysis from Dr. Carl Wilson of the Omega-1 Institute mentioned earlier in the book. He also goes on to say that this could be why new homes or buildings with no history can become extremely active all of a sudden when it comes to paranormal activity. It depends on if the network shifts, resulting in old active areas ceasing to be active and new selected areas becoming more active. Because his hypothesis in this book is that if you are in the way of this orb communication network, you are in the signal path, which can produce paranormal or poltergeist-like activity. And that poltergeist activity is used to scare you out of the way of the beam signal. So it's saying, hey, human, you are in the direct path of this microwave energy, which could be harmful to your health. Here, allow me to produce some scary shit in your life to help you leave the area. And that's basically what it says. So the paranormal stuff you experience is a warning symbol for you to leave the area. And so that's why new homes may experience this paranormal activity. And he goes on to say, this would also explain the non-human-like behavior pattern of the paranormal activity, as these spheres could only be controlled and managed by one thing, and that is artificial intelligence. That's his assessment at it. He is, Patrick here is saying that these orbs can only be controlled by artificial intelligence because of the way they move and operate. It's got to be something artificial. I don't know. Maybe it's just a higher entity that has an extreme amount of intelligence. He does make a lot of assumptions in the book, but he's obviously done his research. He also goes on to say, for my own tests and reading third-party accounts, it would appear that this artificial intelligence is designed to observe and to mimic basic human interactions, providing only very basic communication, relying on very basic messages via direct radio broadcast, creating EVPs picked up across talk on circuits, or by audio via air by resonating its propulsion field, creating force on air, creating sound waves. So he goes on to say, like, this is why when sometimes you try to use spirit boxes or EVPs, they're very basic in nature, and they tend to be changing from voice to voice. It's not really like one direct person all the time. He has like a well thought out explanation of why you're not really communicating with like one entity, but maybe across the network, because it's all linked into this orb communication system. Now, what he goes on to say is he doesn't know if this orb network, that this orb, basically what we're seeing on Skinwalker Ranch, is part of a defensive grid that is set up by this intelligence to protect us, or if it's used to create a prison planet for us, to keep us here, to keep us locked down. That's where he doesn't really know. What he does know is, like, in his book, he's like, this is some sort of communication grid across the globe, and it's being used to track us and incoming and outgoing traffic from planet Earth. Now, when it goes to what may be going on here and responsible at Skinwalker Ranch, in the book, The Hunt for Skinwalker, towards the end of the book, they did a remote viewing session on Skinwalker Ranch. And in light of what they discovered on the most recent episode with the grid system and what I just read there by Patrick Jackson, the book Quantum Paranormal, I'll read like a brief synopsis of session 3 and 4. So when it comes to the remote viewing session 3, remote viewers stated that the cattle mutilations that have occurred on the ranch most likely were carried out by something that was robotic in nature, possibly a robotic drone, interdimensional in nature, and most likely military related. In session 4, that this involved 5 different remote viewers on this session. They suggested that the activity on the ranch was connected to the military, most likely the U.S. Navy. 3 of the remote viewers perceived a large grid or honeycomb made up of sophisticated electronics embedded underneath the ground of Skinwalker Ranch. And they had an overall feeling of dread and an uneasement when they were remote viewing the property. Now, all these remote viewers didn't know they were remote viewing Skinwalker Ranch. They were given blind coordinates. Only the controller knew what they were viewing. So these remote viewing sessions were done back in the early 2000s, I believe. And the grid system and the electronics that Travis and his team discovered on the most recent episode, that's new information. So the remote viewing appears to kind of correlate with remote viewing stuff. And so maybe there is, like, this is some, Skinwalker Ranch could be some weird interdimensional U.S. Navy psychological operation. Yay! Why not?
/ interstellar bus stop.
Yes.
/ antenna array.
Yeah.
You said this was a silver orb, right?
Yeah. I mean, silvery. It looks whitish. It's hard to tell. It's only like 720p.
A, problematic. B, kind of reminds me or gives me Hermes vibes, like Mercury vibes, god of communication type stuff. Very alchemical.
Yeah. It's some weird stuff there. So, yeah, just a lot of weird stuff going on there. But there's the down low on Skinwalker Ranch. You guys have any final thoughts before we move on to something else?
I definitely would like to see a picture of that underground circuit board that they were talking about, that huge grid. That sounds pretty fascinating. Circuits are pretty spooky. Just, I guess, based off of the chemicals that get used to produce them, phosphorus being one of the... it's one of the chemicals that they introduce to the silicon to give it I think it's a negative charge, and phosphorus is this light bringer chemical. It glows in the dark. So essentially you build up these little mini cityscapes on the circuit board for spirits and entities and demons to reside inside of.
Mm-hmm.
So why not make giant ones that are, huge and underground?
They acknowledge, like, so the new owner of Skinwalker Ranch acknowledged that there's probably something mechanical in the mesa. There's like a large mesa, and they've been trying to drill into it, and they got deep in there, and they found some like mechanical or metal shavings, things that appear to be manufactured. They don't know, appear to be manufactured. But the owner basically said, we're not going to bring in earth movers and level the mesa to find out what's in there. Like, why not? If it's like a huge scientific discovery that is completely earth-shattering, why not bring in some earth movers and excavate the area in order to figure it out? He said he's not going to do it. So it seems like they're really trying to milk this TV show for all it's worth. And yeah, I gotta admit, like the past, I would say 3 episodes have been dud-a-roos, you know?
Big nothing burgers.
Yeah, I know they have 10 episodes to fill here. They have an entire season, but it really feels like they could have consolidated it down to like 4 good episodes of fairly interesting stuff. But they got to make that sweet money.
You got to fluff it out, you know.
They got
to the playback.
That's how you make the money.
It really is, and no one wants that. I don't. I just want them to present the evidence. But
that's where you make the money.
Maybe excavate a little bit, get into that DUMB and see what's going on under the hood.
Yeah, well, I mean, that will probably be on like the final season. Like the very last episode, we'll finally dig in there. Once it's kind of like once The Walking Dead, like The Walking Dead topped out season 5, they're on like season 13. Then they'll start doing some interesting stuff to bring the fans back. And apparently it's still, like, Skinwalker Ranch is still doing good numbers, so they're not desperate to do any kind of stunt just yet. We'll have to wait until the ratings really tank.
They should bring Britney Spears down there and have her shave her head at Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, that'd be fun, yeah.
Let's do it.
Not only do you get the celebrity draw, but you get the recalling of a classic meme. I think there'd be a lot of eyes on that.
I'd watch. Yeah, sure.
Or you can get Mark Hamill down there and do like a Skywalker, Skinwalker pun type of thing. You know?
I see. Yeah, George Lucas might sue over the use of anything Skywalker related. He owns the name.
Still own it, or did he sell all that?
Oh, Disney would sue. You know what? You know what? Disney would sue.
The mouse would sue you. Yeah.
Yeah.
The House of Mouse.
Better watch out. Better not cry. Mickey Mouse is serving you.
Yeah.
Sue everybody.
So where are you going after this lawsuit? I'm going to Disneyland.
Now,
the irony.
It's not much of a park anymore, but still there.
Yeah, more like a camp.
Is that Cretched laughing over there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell. All right, let's move on. I do have an update for people on the Vegas alien.
Oh.
The Vegas alien.
The Las Vegas alien. So we played a clip from a news report that during there's a sighting of a meteor that was in the sky from police body camera, and then a family called in and said, "Hey, there's humanoids in the backyard, and they're like 10 feet tall. They have big eyes and big mouths." And you know, there wasn't, beyond that call, there wasn't much like more information. There wasn't much more detail. The video footage was kind of stupid because it was all done by like a cell cam or a phone cam from like 1995. It was horrible. It wasn't even 720p is what I'm trying to say. And it was all dark. But it turns out like during that meteor glide over, there were like 2 objects. There was the main meteor, and then there was a smaller object that was kind of running parallel to it at the same time. And then some YouTuber out there decided to do a little bit more photographic analysis on the footage of the family walking back to, they call it backyard. It's really just a back parking lot. And I was like, okay, there could be something there. I'll play the audio over here. I'll bring it up on screen. I'll let you guys decide at home if we're seeing something behind the fence. And there very well could be something behind the fence. And I'm open to this, that there could be an alien back there, but we'll see. I'll bring this up on screen, and we'll listen to this guy describe what he thinks is behind the fence. But there does appear to be something moving behind the fence. I just don't know exactly what it is.
Our first start.
Here we go.
I first start down here because I found something crazy.
Spots I wasn't even focused on holding more mysteries.
To this video, and I'm going to point out 2 things you need to pay attention to right here, which is the head, and if you look really close, and what you will see in about a minute is a hand. That I believe is some creature, non-human, crouching down, and that was its eye I just pointed at. And I want you to pay attention to what appear to be fingers running up the fence, as if it's kneeling down or something and peering out. And then there you go, see the fingers. And I think I go back and forth a couple times here, but it looks to me like there's a little other or a big creature looking through the fence on the bottom there, crouched down. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but you tell me. And then there's his fingers going right up and down, up and down. Just looks like almost a human hand crawling up the fence. And at the very beginning, you see an eye. And I think right here, I show you the
my
fingers.
God, Jay.
This is my really poor attempt at drawing over the fingers, but you get it.
Jay, what the fuck is
so
that?
So what's really interesting about this is it is happening next to them and kind of in front of them, but behind a fence. Yeah, the fingers are really crazy. So I think I'm going to show it one more time, and then I zoom out, and I'll show you what even made me realize this was here. So, okay, so see how many different times of looking. So what I noticed was if you look at the top right, right now, there's actually a shadow figure. It almost looks like it's a dense, shadowy figure comes into frame. If you're looking right, at the 3 fence posts,
While this TikToker showcases a being more to the left.
Guys, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
Oh man, look at this fucking thing!
And another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
And I'll pause right there. It's just like, so I thought the fence thing was the most interesting thing. Like, there appears to be something moving behind the fence. I guess if you're playing the game, like, how many faces in the clouds can you see? You can probably pick out quite a few. If you want to see an eye, I guess you can. But there does appear to be something behind the fence. It's tough to really tell what that is. But, you know, the guy who made the call and his family, they're sticking to the story that they were visited by very large humanoids. One they even said was got in the earth mover back there and was playing around, pretending he was a construction guy or some shit like that. I don't know. But they said he was in the actual compartment where you control the earth mover, the backhoe, and so maybe
I would love to see Alien Killdozer. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. So I appreciate them sticking to their story, and I appreciate these people doing this kind of analysis, like really picking these videos apart. It just makes the story a little bit more interesting. I thought it was going to die off, and maybe it should have, but I wanted to bring it to the show. Boo Berry, what do you say about this photographic analysis?
My God, it's an alien.
I was thinking, the one thing that it really made me think of was the string of mysterious clown sightings. You remember way back when?
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, there's just clowns being spotted everywhere.
Yep.
There was something
Those were
about
good days.
Yeah, back when things really made sense.
A simpler time.
And there's something out there that's in the collective unconsciousness that's really captivated people, and visitors from other worlds is kind of at the forefront of people's minds. So, I think there's a lot of hype behind it. Now, Dag, I was seeing in our chat, said that everybody looks like an alien in 240p, which I also agree. So I would need to see something with a little more higher quality recordings, I guess.
Yeah, and that's my biggest complaint. It's not necessarily also like the quality, but the lack of amount. I'm assuming the family, they probably have a few cameras in the house. Why wasn't everyone filming this most significant event in the family's life.
You know what they need to do? They need to get a couple homeless people together and then get them to start a brawl so everybody whips their phones out at the same time. And they're filming that, but also catching the alien action in the background.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That way you can cover a wide net, make sure everything's covered. All your bases, all your shots are covered.
People love fights. They do. And especially when either homeless people, they love that, or like mascots. So the alien
mascots, yeah.
Aliens versus mascots, classic viral video moment that the family failed to capture.
That's the kaiju battle we've all been waiting for. Just pocket sized.
It's the kaiju battle we don't deserve.
At first, I thought you were going to say you're going to hire homeless people to be on Alien Watch, which I think is a legitimate idea. I think there are plenty of homeless people that would accept $20 to, keep their eyes to the skies.
I think you're really upselling a lot. At $20, I think that's for your higher tier. I think you probably get them for 5 to 10 just to say, look up and let me know if you see anything. But you might get a lot of false reports at that point.
That's true. But you want to dish out. You want like the Brent Spiner of homeless people.
Sure. I mean, but trying to comb through quality homeless people to find the best UFO spotters, it's difficult. Like, what kind of drugs are they on? And are those drugs maybe make them predisposed to see something that they normally wouldn't? And so it's really difficult. Like, do fentanyl users, are they more apt to see UFOs versus meth users? And I would imagine like meth users probably top tier alien viewers, because
I would say the mushroom people probably, or the acid people.
I'm not seeing a lot of homeless people on mushrooms. Not at least not in my neck of the woods.
Oh, we got them over here.
You got a lot of mushroomers.
Yeah, in San Francisco Bay Area.
Sure, okay.
They're all doing mushrooms.
In San Francisco, pretty much anything and everything does go.
Yeah, especially when mold is concerned.
Yeah, but like mushrooms, I mean, that's like a psychedelic, introspective kind of thing. Yeah, homeless people, they want to get high. They want to get drunk. They want to forget about their troubles. They don't want to think about like all the existential questions that the universe has and what questions they want to ask the universe. It seems like when you're doing mushrooms, when you do them when you're young, you do it because they're kind of fun. When you're old, you might do it as some sort of spirit quest to make yourself a better human. So I don't know. That's what I'm assuming. And so, I mean, maybe there's homeless people out there doing mushrooms on spirit quests, but I don't think so. Maybe.
At that point, they would be shamans.
Yes, they would be traveling shamans.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very thin line. It's a very thin line.
Very thin. Extremely thin.
It's
just based off of some of the dudes that I've ran into. That's a super thin line.
Yeah, okay.
But meth, yeah, probably meth.
Meth.
I think we can all agree that
the number
that's
one
the alien sighting. Yeah.
Oh, there's demons there, boy. And I like the fact that they shout out the shadow people. I'm a big believer in shadow people. I've seen them. I've interacted with them before. It's very real, very spooky.
How did you interact with them?
A lot of times it's mostly just feeling like someone's constantly walking up on you. You ever get that vibe? You're sitting there in a room by yourself and someone walks in, you turn around, there's nothing there. Okay, I can let that slide. More so, it's just like I was in somewhere in Connecticut. I was walking back home from the theater, and this thing materialized out of the air. It was about 8 feet tall, and there's actually a Batman villain from the Batman Beyond cartoon series. There was kind of like a gooey black tendril monster, but this guy looked just like that monster or bad guy from Batman Beyond, and it had really jagged arms and jagged legs. It was like everything kind of came to a point with a faint white outline, like it was almost being backlit, right? And it just boom materialized and ran across the road and just was gone in a flash.
Sounds kind of
Super
terrifying.
spooky stuff.
Yeah, it sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, you guys want to talk about some non-spooky stuff? Let's do it. Let's talk about non-spooky stuff.
non-spooky stuff.
Hang, and I'm hanging with it.
Non-spooky. At least in my opinion. So I got an article here I'll bring up on screen.
On screen.
On screen. Here it is. Arnold Schwarzenegger says he'd absolutely run for president in 2024 if he could. It's a no-brainer. I see so clearly how I could win.
That's some good news on that front.
Now, I watched the most recent Arnold Schwarzenegger Netflix like docuseries. It's like a 3-part series. It goes through his bodybuilding, his career. He goes through his Hollywood career, then his political career. And the whole thing, and my wife said this, we watched it together, the whole thing seemed like an advertisement or at least a PR campaign to position himself to run for president. And then a few days later, this article comes out saying, oh, he would, in fact, love to run for president. And it seems like with all the articles, like a few episodes ago, we covered probably 4 different headlines related to Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I was like, wow, he's all of a sudden in the news. Now it all makes sense.
I'm going to take a shit.
He wants to run for president. And not going to be possible unless there are some changes. So Arnold Schwarzenegger would throw his name into the race for U.S. president if he was eligible. The actor and former California governor told Chris Wallace on a recent episode of Max and CNN's Who's Talking interview series. The action movie icon already has a history in U.S. politics as he served as the 38th governor of California from 2003 to 2011.
Republican governor, by the way.
Yeah, Republican governor. Yep.
Pretty rare in California.
Yeah, but he's a governor, man.
It's a governor.
He got it done. People just loved him. Yeah.
I do not want to touch his ass.
Gray Davis crushed him.
Gray Davis did? Or he crushed Gray Davis?
He crushed Gray Davis, yeah.
That was like a whole big political thing. Like back then, that was during like the wave of brownouts and energy problems in California. I think Enron was closely linked to that. And then I'm not sure if you remember this, Lavish. You're from out there, but then they really were pushing to have the recall on Gray Davis. And Arnold says he had no influence in that decision, but come on.
Yeah, he had something to do with it on some level.
Yeah, he absolutely did. Yeah.
Are you going to fuck me now or not?
Get down.
He goes on to say, quote, the Constitution says the president has to be a natural-born U.S. citizen. If not for that, I would have run for president. And then he said, yeah, well, yes, of course. I mean, I think that the field was wide open in 2016. I think that the field is wide open right now. I mean, think about it right now. I mean, who is there? Really, there really is not a person that can bring everyone together. Who here today, the people say, okay, he's not too old, he's not too this or that, or because it's now a question about who do you vote against than who you vote for. And he's right. Like, there is really no candidate that really unifies people anymore. And I don't think I'm not sure if there ever will be again, but I think Arnold could be that.
My mission is to fuck you.
Mr. Screw Your Freedoms himself.
I think that's the thing, man. He'll never get over that, or people will never forget that he said "screw your freedoms."
He did apologize for that.
He did apologize for it, but that's a sticky one.
It is a very sticky situation, and that was over COVID. And
that was over COVID.
Yeah,
COVID.
And I think what happened is that he saw Trump win, and he went, "Holy shit! I could have won had I only been born here." And now he's like, "Shit! Now if we can only change the Constitution to get me to run, I could be president." I think he probably could be president. I don't even think that he would be a bad president necessarily. When it comes to natural-born citizens, you have to be born in the United States to become the United States president. And I was thinking about this today. I was out walking my dog, and I was like, that is in the Constitution. I'm sure they put it in there for a reason. But you take a look at like someone who's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He came to America because he believed in the American dream. He had a lot of ego. He had a lot of ambition. But he believed in the American dream. Like he'd come here, he could make something for himself. He could envision his life and then achieve it here. You have a lot of people that are fled and are fleeing communist China that come here and are so grateful for the opportunities here in America, and they really embody the spirit of America. I would have to say that those types of people might be better than what we currently have, like Joe Biden, who,
buy a shotgun. Your old elites. You're right. Arnold is the embodiment of the American dream.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why The Simpsons and all kinds of people portray him as a president, because he would be a great American president.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
So maybe that provision in the Constitution needs to go away. We need to find people that just embody the spirit of America, whether the American dream is true or not. The illusion is powerful because if you believe in it, then you act as though it is possible, and that creates that kind of manifestation to where you think you can do something. And a lot of people here in America take this entire country for granted. The people that have fled China and other repressive regimes like that, they come here and go, God, well, thank God we're here. And I think you want people like that running the country to preserve the American freedoms and the American way of life, not people to take it for granted and use it for corrupt criminal purposes.
Yeah, great leaders sometimes are foreigners, like Napoleon was an Italian and Stalin was a Georgian. Sometimes an outsider comes in and kind of shakes things up.
Yeah. So I think I'm on board. I think we got to change the Constitution to allow specifically only Arnold to run. Everyone else can go pound sand.
What would you say, Mike, about Elon? Because people always talk about Elon running for president. He was born in
South Africa, right?
South Africa.
Yeah.
But his mother is an American citizen. And so people say through his mother, he is
he's like born into it.
He's legitimate for a presidential run.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I trust Elon or not.
Well, aside from him, because he's whatever. But what do you think about that? Do you think it's legal for someone to run for president if they aren't born in America but their mother is American?
I don't know. It seems kind of weird to me. It seems kind of weird. Like, I know somebody who was born in America, so therefore I can be president. I don't know. Like, legal, I'm not a lawyer, obviously, but it seems like it's a little bit too far removed, according to the Constitution. I would have to say naturally born citizen, you have to be born here. That's how I would interpret it, but
I agree.
I think the Constitution should be changed just for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
My cat is a fucking asshole.
Yeah. And so he's on this PR campaign. Arnold is on this PR campaign. To make that change to the Constitution would be quite significant, considering how divided the country is. To make an amendment to the Constitution for just himself, I don't think it's going to happen. Ain't going to happen. Now, what he could be doing is trying to increase his brand viability to where he could be part of the cabinet. Could you serve as a cabinet member if you're not born here? I don't think so. I think maybe because then you're in the presidential line of succession. Like, you could, if you're part of the cabinet, you could eventually become the president if everyone else in front of you dies. Right?
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Get to work.
But I hope you leave enough room for my hawk, because I'm going to ram it into your pussy.
It ain't gonna coo itself.
No. So I guess I don't know the answer to that. Could you, if Arnold Schwarzenegger became Secretary of Defense, this Secretary of the Interior, okay, put him there. So he's in charge of the national parks and stuff like that, and sovereign Native American land. But if everyone else died, then the Secretary of the Interior would eventually become president, And then he could be president, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure they've done this kind of war gaming before. I wonder what the answer is. I would have to go to ChatGPT. And I'm not prepared to do that right now. Not prepared. But what do you say, guys? You guys want to open up the phone lines a little bit and see if anybody out there is calling us?
We love callers.
Okay.
Surely.
Okay, we're going to open up the phone lines for legitimate callers only. Only legitimate callers.
Now let's go ahead and take the phone calls.
Come with a telephone number.
Yeah, come with a telephone number. 614-388-9109, or you can Skype directly in using our Big Dumb Mouth. And we'll take your whatever items you want to sell, items you want to talk about. We'll indulge. Caller, you are on the air.
Hello, hello.
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 Hello there.
Is this thing on?
This thing's on. Hello.
Hootaloo to everybody.
Hootaloo.
Hootaloo to the gentleman from behind the scenes.
Yes.
Hello there.
In the morning.
It sounds like you got your turn signal on. Where are you turning to?
I just turned off the road there.
Oh, okay. Can you put your hazards on, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
I rectified that problem.
You lay on that horn just a little bit for me?
Yeah, can you honk your horn?
All right.
What's on your mind?
Oh, not much, guys. I just wanted to say happy Saturday.
Yes, happy Saturday.
Hootaloo to you all. Hootaloo to all the piss army.
No, don't go yet. No, I'm going to ask you. No. Would you vote for Arnold Schwarzenegger if you were to run for president?
Yeah, probably.
You would?
Probably.
So you would vote for him over Biden and Trump?
Yeah, looking at the caliber of politicians we have, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Well, thank you, Rob. Is that all you got for us?
No, that's all. I'm just I'm headed out to the woods, to a cabin in the woods.
Really?
I just wanted to
after everything we talk about on this show, with missing 411 people disappearing, and you're going out there?
I'm taking my chances.
Okay.
All right? I'm flipping a coin.
All right, man.
I'm going out to
No hot
disconnect,
tubs.
and I just wanted to let everybody know you should all do the same. Given if you have the opportunity, not today, you don't have to do it today, but in the future, given the opportunity, just disconnect. I'm doing this all in the spirit of Ted K.
All right, man. Hey, you're not wrong. Disconnecting is a good thing. All right, thanks, Rob.
Reject society.
Yeah.
Bye.
Touch grass.
Get the fuck out of here now!
I saw. I couldn't get to the caller. He just called in as Rob hung up. But here we go. Here's another one right here.
Oh my gosh!
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Mike?
Yes. Who are we talking to?
Hey, this is Jen.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm here with my my super fan husband, Chris Pierre.
Hi, Chris.
Jen.
I just sent you a bunch of cassette tapes.
Oh, good. So what's on your mind, guys?
Well, we're out here camping at Flaming Gorge, Utah.
Oh my God! So
and listen, sorry, go ahead.
You guys are camping too.
Yes.
Are you worried about missing 411 and being abducted?
I was last night.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Damn.
So last night, Chris and I were walking up the trail alone to our party at the campfire, and we saw this silhouette of something that looked to be about how tall, honey?
Like 12 feet.
So that's a big boy. You saw
Yeah.
Did you smell anything in the air that was rancid or putrid?
It was not a Sasquatch. It was more like either an alien or a dog man. It was skinny and lanky, but super tall.
Probably Joe. He goes out there sometimes and harasses
where's
people.
Joe?
Yeah, he's out there being lanky and harassing campers. That's what he's doing right now.
In 240p.
With
Our
6
son
foot
misses
stilts.
Joe.
Yeah, I miss Joe too. I text with him on the DL. He is still Joe is fairly incapacitated because of his foot, and I think he's still a little doped up, and hopefully he'll be able to call in here soon. But he's still last time I talked to him, he still could not stand. His foot was that badly broken.
I see.
Yeah.
That sounds suspicious.
I know. I tell him that. I said people are going to be making up rumors about you, and he doesn't care.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we saw last night, but it stood up really tall, and then it hunched down and like bent its knees, and its knees were like really long too, like its legs were super long and skinny.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I got scared. I wouldn't let the kids play Ghost in the Graveyard last night.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I mean, keep those kids in a tight leash, short leash.
Keep them away from the caves.
Yeah.
Yep. And on a side note, I think we should be able to find someone that's under 100 years old to run this country.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Good point. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Would you vote for Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Hell no.
What?
After what he did during COVID, he said all that ranting he did about everybody who wouldn't wear
Screw your freedom.
Yeah, that. Screw your freedom.
He did
Remember
apologize.
Pussy.
He did apologize.
I don't care. He said, screw my freedom, and that's the most important thing to me.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, he did say it.
Screw his presidency.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
All right, you guys. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Be careful out there.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. We have one yes for Arnold and then one no for Arnold. I guess the next caller is going to determine if he's going to get into the presidency. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, legitimate caller here.
Yeah.
Your phone's bad.
Well, legitimate
How's it
caller.
going?
Who are we talking to, legitimate caller?
Oh, this is Spencer.
Hey, Spencer. What's on your mind?
The Wolf of Kansas City.
Awoo, caller.
Awoo, caller.
Awoo, indeed. Good to see Lavish and Blueberry.
Yes.
They've been like all over the place lately.
Yes.
What's up with
Busy
that?
week. We gotta get out there, man.
I am actually stumping for a ticket I think could unify everybody. Just turn D.C. into a radioactive nuclear pile of melted glass.
Oh, yeah.
So you're advocating just nuking an entire city and the population of millions of people?
Bomb them, bomb them again.
I think it's a little harsh.
Tried and true, caller.
It seems like there might be some steps that we do before that, before we go to...
Yeah, like we could evacuate. We could evacuate first. That's fine.
Well, I mean, that would kind of defeat the purpose of the bombing. I'm just saying there's steps we could do. Like maybe we don't have to move to bombs yet. Maybe we could try some additional voting because that seems to work.
The legal system,
vote. We can vote our way out of this. I think you're right, actually. Let's ask ChatGPT to be sure.
Well, hey, you are the final caller. I have to ask you, would you vote for Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No, I would never vote for Arnold.
Okay.
Kill me, I'm here. Kill me.
So you wouldn't. So if it came down to Arnold versus Trump versus Biden, you wouldn't vote for anyone?
Ah, man, I've always voted ever since I earned the civic duty or whatever. But I'm just, it's becoming harder and harder as my cynicism grows as I get older to really make the case to go and vote.
Okay. Hey, I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to force you to make a decision. It's just like it's really important for you to choose right now because you're a tiebreaker.
This might be my year to sit out. I don't know.
Okay, you're sitting out. Then
somebody's going to have to be compelling.
Is that an abstention, caller?
Yeah, it is, and then it's going to go to the courts.
I love the legal system. This is great.
So basically saying, my vote, I don't care. I can make the decision that changes the country. I'm sitting out. I'm passing it over to the courts. That's what you're saying.
Oh, if I'm the tiebreaker?
You're the tiebreaker.
Just have them call me if that comes down to it, yeah.
I am calling you. You're on the phone.
I didn't call you.
Caller. The time is now.
So you're saying it's a three-way tie, and I've got to pick between Arnie, Trump, and Biden?
Yes.
Let me talk to your mother.
Yes, if I had to for the good of my country.
You do.
I guess I would pick Trump.
Wow, I can't believe you said that.
Terminated.
Let him do another one.
Okay, all right.
Let him do
mother would
another
say,
one.
"You love trucks."
I mean,
do.
it's all arbitrary anyway, right? That was a fun guy to watch.
It was. It was a fun time.
We could at least laugh and get cheap gas. That's all I want to do is laugh and get cheap gas. You know?
Well, then he's your dude. All right.
Bingo.
I don't think Schwarzenegger is going to have that sort of laugh power behind him.
No, he'll have a lot of one-liners. He'll end every stump
Just
speech.
screwing your freedom left and right, man. Like,
Yeah.
You can apologize for that for the rest of your life. You never live that down. Screw your freedom?
He ends.
This is America, you dumb son of a bitch, okay?
Yeah, he's not going to be as funny as Trump. But all right, well, hey, thank you. I appreciate you being the tiebreaker there. So
I do what I can for my country.
all right, man. Well, hey, thanks for calling in.
Love you, Mike.
Bye.
Yep, take care.
Okay, one more call. I lied. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello there. Hello.
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 Hello, Lavish. Hello, Blueberry. Hello, Mike.
Hello.
Hello.
Who are we talking to?
This is Paul.
Hello. Paul.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
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 Paul.
I'm back in the country, boys.
What's on your mind, Paul?
Oh, just saying, no way Arnold Schwarzenegger for president. That's a bad idea.
It's a bad
Very
idea.
Terminated.
The trains will take you to the freedom camps.
Yeah,
We
okay.
will restore your freedom.
What do you think about opening or the idea of amending the Constitution to allow people not born here to become president?
Apparently, that's already happened.
Well, yeah, sure, but legally, maybe it has happened in the past. But I'm saying amending the Constitution to make it illegal, to make it possible legally.
Why not?
Okay, all right,
Good idea.
I like it. Sure,
Yes.
that's the attitude.
Right on.
Well, Paul, what'd you calling about?
Well, I just wanted to say hi to Blueberry, hi to Lavish. It's Scandinavian. You haven't figured that
So,
out.
how you doing, bud?
Yeah.
And thank you, Mary Carol, for the phone number.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Spreading out the phone number.
All right.
All right.
Spread the information.
Yes.
Spreading love.
That's right.
That Mary
Yep.
Kate Ultra.
Just plug in no
What
agenda.
a gal.
Okay, yeah, you got to plug No Agenda. We're broadcasting on their network. I love
Absolutely.
John C. and Adam, of course.
Absolutely. My favorite.
All
Okay, you can blow me up
All right,
anytime.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, boys.
We better blow them before they blow us.
And we just did. So we shut down the phone lines there. Some good callers there. And it looks like Arnold is just not going to win. The whole screw your freedoms thing will come back to bite him in the ass when he tries to run up against Trump or Biden. It will be used in political ads. There's just no way around it. You're right. All you have to do is run ads with him saying that, and he's not going to get the conservative vote. So
I would be curious. I'm not sure where it came from, but I would like to see a short straw system when it comes to getting people into power and in charge of the government and whatnot. We're going to find the people that least want to do it. We're going to give them the job.
I like
so
it.
that way
That's a
they
good
can
method.
just like bust stuff out. They're not trying to muck around and stuff because they just don't want to be there. They're literally going to do the bare minimum to get through the day so that they can go back home. And,
That's what Washington did. Washington hated being there. Though this country was built on you not wanting to be president. It's great.
I think that should continue. You should be. The people in power should not want the power. It means that hopefully that they will be cautious, skeptical about what they're doing, and not want to be too corrupt. And term limits that also
10
would help
people.
too. Yeah,
there's one man I think that can unite this country. One man who everybody would get behind if he ran, and that is the CEO of Costco.
Who's that?
Jelinek, Craig Jelinek. He's the James Sinegal, I think, was the guy that started it. Those guys would be the most loved of all time. Everybody loves Costco. The man behind the $1.50 hot dog.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to compete with that kind of thing.
Yeah,
people do like it.
That's power money can't buy.
All right, let's do a few more headlines here. See what we have. There is a story that I want to play because it references a story that we did in the past because No Agenda played this on their show. And I was like, this reminds me of a story that we covered about 6 weeks ago. And I'll play this. I'll bring it up on screen. And I probably won't even play the entire thing. But when I heard this, I was like, oh, wow, this reminds me of what happened in Alabama. Here we go.
Is it real? Yes, he was already passed away, but still.
This morning, the daughters of a New Hampshire sheriff's deputy who passed away in 2019 say they're horrified to learn their father's body was part of a grotesque criminal scheme at Harvard University. FBI agents yesterday arrested this man, Cedric Lodge, for allegedly stealing and selling dissected human body parts while he was manager of the morgue at Harvard Medical School. Investigators say in a scheme dating back to 2018, Lodge stole heads, brains, skin, and bones from cadavers donated to the school for educational purposes. He then allegedly brought those parts to his home and, with his wife's help, sold them for tens of thousands of dollars.
Who could do something like that? What kind of person? No respect at all for the family. They need to pay.
Do you have anything to say to the family?
Buyers identified in the indictment include Katrina McLean, owner of Cat's Creepy Creations, a Massachusetts store that advertises creations that shock the mind and shake the soul.
So I'm going to pause right there. Like, the same exact situation pretty much happened at the University of Alabama, like 6 weeks ago, where one of the people who worked in the morgue was caught selling body parts using an online, a Facebook group, a private Facebook group, and she was selling to some guy in Pennsylvania named Jeremy. And the same kind of thing here. So you have a prestigious school like Harvard doing something like this. Then you have another university down south doing it. How many other university morgues are doing this exact same thing? And then about a half year ago, we covered story of missing heads in Colorado, missing body parts all over the place. At this point, where there's smoke, there is fire. This is probably a much larger industry. And this is what you see on Facebook. Imagine what they're doing at like a tier or two up, where they're selling living people, not just body parts anymore, but people who are near death, people that maybe are in hospice at that point. It's like, yeah, I got this guy. He's terminal. Would you want him right now? He's still kind of alive. And then the family are none the wiser. And they just declare death, and maybe even the person in the hospice doesn't have any immediate family, and so no one is really going to miss them. Like, what kind of grotesque industry is really going on here on the internet? It's crazy.
I don't remember the full context of the story, but there was a conversation my dad and I had way back when talking about activating the organ donor status on your driver's license when you go to apply.
Oh, I get rid of that thing. I ain't. That's not on my driver's license anymore.
Yeah, and what happens is you got that listed, and something happens, and like you're kind of in this in between state of going to make it, not going to make it. Well, he's got the organ donor card status on his card. There you go.
They just take
care of itself.
Yeah, he was so close to death. We just took him out because he's worth more dead than alive. And
wow! Oh no!
That's right. Don't ever let anyone tell you you're worthless. Your organs are worth tens of thousands of dollars.
And so, yeah, selling skin, selling heads, and these are people that got caught. Harvard, I think Alabama University. There's probably plenty others that are still doing this. And it obviously disturbs the family. You think your loved ones are going to medical science? It's just lining somebody's pocket at that point. My dad's head is in Alabama as a lampshade. And that's what he wanted.
That might be actually pretty cool. But aside from that,
I mean, if that's what you want your legacy to be, write that into your will, I suppose. But with all the stories about like creepy things that happen at with haunted objects and people's spirits being attached to their bones, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be a part of that. But it seems like these people will just not care about the remains of somebody and to sell off their body parts. So, okay.
Mike, I just DM'd you in the Discord a link that lists out some body parts and potential prices that you could snag for him.
Oh, really? Okay, well, I'm kind of curious now. I do kind of need like a little side gig every now and again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You don't need both those kidneys, you know.
Something to pad up the old coffers, as they say.
Let's see this. How much is a human body part worth? I'm very curious. So ears, the outside part only, $10 an ear? That seems low.
That's not even enough to get yourself like a high-priced, high-dollar hot dog somewhere.
Yeah.
In like
That's right.
$10,000.
That will not get you a California dog.
Appendix.
Or a lot of gas.
This thing, appendix, $25? The appendix, you're going to say appendix isn't worth very much these days as it's considered evolutionary useless, and most people end up getting rid of theirs. Well, don't. You can get $25 for it.
Mine got rid of itself.
Yeah, don't throw that away. I need that. I can buy a ticket. Like I can take my sweetheart to the movies with this.
Barely.
Yeah, you could go to the movies. You won't be able to buy any popcorn or drink. Not getting any Pepsi for that kind of money.
What's the point?
For a nose, $75. Teeth, $75. This goes on to say teeth are another body part that has plummeted in value. It just says teeth.
Oh, my God.
Historically,
plummeted in value.
Yeah, plummeted. I guess it used to be higher, but historically, selling your teeth was considered kind of a side hustle when times got super hard. The harvested human teeth were used to create, guess what? Dentures. And with the advent of artificial teeth, the price of real human teeth has seen a rapid decline.
That's for damn sure.
Shout out again to George Washington, whose mouth was full of people that sold their teeth to him.
Mm-hmm. I thought didn't he have wooden teeth?
He had wooden teeth, and he also had dentures. And some of those teeth came from slaves.
Jesus.
Classic.
Your brain, $150.
That's cheap.
That seems extremely low.
For less than an airplane ticket?
Like, where are they getting these prices? Like, these prices seem rock bottom. Costco prices for body parts.
This is a hustle.
I feel like $150 is that price is more so what you would expect for a meal. I don't think you're buying the brain to do anything with it. I think you're going to buy the brain to eat it. That's just my 2 cents on it.
I don't know.
It's $150, like, you know, that's like a
nice bottle of wine or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's not much.
Wait, how much is $150 in Satoshis?
So a hand,
69 million.
A hand or forearm can go for $385. So
but it must be sold together.
Yeah, you probably want both, I guess.
The combo package.
It says the human hand is one of the most fascinating pieces of body in this author's opinion, and the hand fetches a higher price than the human brain, which is surprising. I agree. The hand must be sold with the attached forearm, otherwise the value drops. So keep that in mind, people. You want both those things.
Who the hell is this guy writing this article?
This guy knows body parts.
I tried to sell a hand apart from the forearm once. Didn't go so well.
He says it's like buying a board game and not all the pieces. So, okay, that makes good analogy there. Like, you don't want to buy Monopoly without the little thimble. I mean, what's the point? People want people want the thimble. You can buy a stomach for $500. $500. The stomach is on the cheap end as far as human body parts go. But it's still more expensive than the brain. You figure you can buy stomachs anywhere. But brain, that's the one you want, but apparently not.
You can find stomachs anywhere if you look hard enough.
A shoulder, $500. A spleen, $508.
$508.
It's like, this is like Price is Right's bidding.
So specific.
I'll give you $508 for that spleen.
99 cents.
The spleen is one of those organs, like the appendix, you can live without. The spleen does, however, have more functions than the appendix does, and therefore fetches a higher price. But more than the brain. Sperm live is $600. Come on, really? You mean I'm sitting on this kind of gold right here?
But the brain's $150?
Yeah.
get this.
Who knew I was dumping $600 loads
every day?
Socks. I could have been 1,000 there just today.
Those socks are golden. Sperm can be donated in almost any major city. Price goes for between $400 and $800 per donation. So I put it at $600 as the medium. So this guy, you can pump for pay, no doubt about that. But I don't know, you can get paid $600 for it.
Lesbian couples, they run things now.
Scalp, your scalp 607. Oh my God.
606.99.
607. The scalp is used for transplants, for transplantations. That's what it says, transplantations for brain surgeries, and is fast growing.
Is that like the woke South transplantations?
I guess it just a skull with teeth inside of it. So that's everything together. The whole is $1,200. The gallbladder is $1,219. Human hair, $1,450. Eyeballs with the cornea, $1,500.
Well, the human hair there, back in 2020, there was a handful of stories with the Uyghur population in China. It was getting their hair trafficked. They had found a big shipment in, was it Georgia, I think?
Yeah.
There was a big supply of human hair that was found in a port.
That's very
expensive stuff.
Yeah, it is. Can be. I'm just going to skip to some of the more expensive items here. So a penis is $75,000.
Penis man.
$75,000.
$75,000. You're sitting on basically your 401k right there. Times are tough. You know, you can do it.
I tell you what.
No. So Hulk doesn't have that kind of money. He's gonna lowball somebody. No pun intended.
No ball someone.
One penis is $75,000. Penises can be transplanted. This guy just says I had no idea. So if you have a penis laying around, it's worth more than what most people earn per year. Just saying, not suggesting or condoning penis harvesting. So
Very
this
trendy. Very trendy.
Well, with the most recent, trend in sex changes, where are all those extra penises that are being cut off going? Are they being sold on the penis black market? You would have to say almost, be wasteful. You don't think the surgeons know this? That we're charging people for the surgery. We're taking their leftover useless penis, reselling it on the penis black market, and they're making money on both ends of this thing.
I bet the ones that don't
Yeah.
transplants onto people, they're just throwing in the freezer so they can save it for fun times in the bedroom later.
Sure.
And then stuff it and put it on their mantle. Do they pay by the inch? Is it by the inch that this sort of?
I would imagine the bigger it is, the more sought after it is. I mean, come on.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm here to chop your balls off.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
if you're going to get a
65
dick
inches,
transplant,
right?
you might as well just get the
Give me your
Mandingo.
balls.
A surrogate womb, a rental, not ownership, $100,000. So
More lesbian stuff.
Yeah. Pancreas goes for $110,000. A kidney, about $140,000. A liver, about $160,000. Lungs, about $270,000. What is the most expensive piece here? So in an entire human body, including all organs, bones, muscles, ligaments, etc., $45 million.
Sounds like a big business venture.
So you're worth more dead than working for some company.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As long as they have you intact. If they have you intact.
As long as you're properly refrigerated and stored.
Not eviscerated and in pieces.
Yeah.
To shreds, you say.
That's why they got to smuggle you in UFOs in those hyperbaric chambers. Because they want you intact.
They want that tasty bile, too.
Yeah.
They want to suck you dry.
Just say your large intestine does go for about $800,000. So that's It's not bad. If you can get a large intestine from somebody. Okay. Well, this is fascinating. And there is like links here to like other places where I think how he kind of like gather all this data. Like ScienceAlert.com had an article on this and price listing for. So this guy did his research. There's no doubt about that. So I'm going to believe these pricing levels here. Terrifying. But I mean, it explains why these university morgues are selling body parts left and right on Facebook. No. Okay.
Yeah. Very profitable. It sounds like
very profitable.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what else we got in the headlines.
Sell your penis.
Sell it.
Sell.
Because Kretsch is not here, and we do cover this type of thing quite frequently. I'll bring this up on screen here and talk about it. This is the state of the world that we're in, and it's just a reflection on society in general, I guess. Here's the headline here. Mario attacks Spider-Man for punching Black Panther in cosplay street fight.
That's some good news on that front.
Oh, God.
I've been waiting for a long while for this one.
So what we have is three different universes fighting each other, pretty much. I mean, Spider-Man is in the Marvel universe, but very rarely do you see crossovers like Nintendo go into the MCU. There's a lot of legalities, a lot of copyright laws around this, and so to see a street fight on this scale is pretty epic. I'll read this story before I play the video here. Which there is video. It is earth-shattering. It's universe-shattering. It's part of the Marvel multiverse.
Multiverse shattering.
So a street fight between Mario, Spider-Man, Black Panther, and others is going viral on social media after a dispute between costume employees at a tourist attraction in Brazil. Is this what Spider-Man in Smash Brothers would look like? A wild brawl erupted between two employees of two little trains earlier in June, leaving tourists and spectators confused. I guess two little trains might be like a place where you go to ride trains and get your pictures taken with people in crappy costumes, I'm assuming. From an entire airport baggage area becoming a WWE Royal Rumble, and I'd kind of classify it as Survivor Series or like that, something like that. Not a Royal Rumble. Two fisticuffs aboard the plane. There have been plenty of wild street fights, but never anything quite like this. In a video making the rounds on social media, a man dressed up as Spider-Man approached another guy cosplaying as Black Panther and unloaded a series of punches, resulting in Mario tangling with the web slinger. So, okay, here we go. I'll see if I can play this on screen right here.
Turma, uma briga generalizada entre funcionários.
Here we go. There's an intro in a different...
Turma, uma briga generalizada entre funcionários de trenzinho fantasiados de Homem-Aranha, Pantera Negra e Suzópolis, na região serrana do Rio de Janeiro. No vídeo, é possível ver quando o homem vestido de Homem-Aranha se aproxima...
There's no audio from the fight. It's just, you just see the guy, I think in the Mario costume, he took off Mario's head and just started wailing. It looks like he's oh my God, it looks like the web slinger is not holding his own. It looks like Mario does have the upper hand when it comes to classic street brawl. Like Mario is not messing around. He knows how to throw some punches. It looks like Spider-Man was definitely caught off guard here. Black Panther has basically been relegated to refereeing the entire operation, and Mario is just not putting up with this. He must have took a power star or something like that, and he's able to deflect web slinger's blows quite efficiently and knows how to battle in the streets. And of course, he's a plumber. He knows how to fight in the streets.
He knows dirty.
He knows dirty. He fights dirty. There's no buildings around for Spider-Man to use his webs against and sling around. Listen, and a straight one-on-one street brawl, Mario is going to win. There's no doubt about that. And he did. It looks like he won.
And Mario there's something happening with Mario that he's completely bypassing the spider sense. So is he not able to trigger that spidey sense? Is he moving faster than what Spider-Man could react to?
I suspect when Mario takes that invulnerability star it renders all of Spider-Man's senses neutral. It totally neutralizes any spider sense that he might have. He's invulnerable, and he might be invisible to any sort of like radar sensing by the spider. That's what I'm assuming there from that fight.
Based.
And
man, and he goes swinging, and he's not even looking at him for a bit. He throws off his head so skillfully.
He does.
He deheads himself.
You can tell this is not the first time he's fought another Marvel superhero. He knows how to battle these people. The man dressed as Spider-Man reportedly had his nose broken and will require surgery. Additionally, at least 2 men involved in the smackdown will be dismissed from the 2 little trains. So 2 people are being fired. Now Mario's got to go back to plumbing. And all he was trying to do is just defend himself.
Sorry, Mario, your princess is in a different castle.
Bullshit.
That's too bad.
It's not clear.
Don't mess with Mario.
It's not clear what got into Spider-Man or if he was experiencing a symbiote moment, but at least Mario was there to save the day. He didn't save the day. He broke Spider-Man's nose. He didn't. I mean, there was no saving going on there. You know, there were some cartoonish kind of antics going on, but all right.
I don't know if you're looking for AI suggestions for the show art, but that could be the money right there.
Yeah, that
Mario
could be
breaking Spider-Man's
his nose. Yeah, he did it. He didn't care. He's done it before. He'll do it again.
Yeah, that'll teach you to run your whore mouth.
I mean, Mario just came off the $1 billion movie with the most recent Super Mario Brothers movie, so he's feeling good. He's feeling empowered.
Not the most impressive movie I've ever seen, but I will say I was a big fan of their audio design for that movie, the Super Mario Brothers movie.
I heard good things. I heard it's like an okay movie. I'll watch it when it ever comes to the TV where I don't have to pay for it, I guess. So
yeah. Right. Minor spoiler alerts. Peach taking power-ups. Super fine.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Okay. Oh, thank God.
All right.
Yes.
A little fan service for the boys back home.
All right. Well, I got a few more headlines over here.
I'm going to go sell my $75,000 penis now.
Hey, baby, you want $75,000 worth of fun?
Of meat?
Headline over here. Chupacabra filmed in Bolivia after spat of mystery animal deaths. Okay?
Oh, really?
Chupacabra, back in headlines.
The goat sucker.
Yes.
Goat drainer.
A creature said to be the mythical Chupacabra has been captured on film by a drone camera operator. The beast, which has been a fixture of the South American folklore for years, has been attributed with a recent spat of unexplained animal deaths on a farm in Bolivia. So some news outlets reported that cows, llamas, and alpacas have all been found dead with their blood drained from their bodies, while elsewhere in the region, there have been cases of ducks and turkeys showing up dead without apparent explanation. While local drone operators captured footage of a strange animal roaming the field near the city, news outlets were quick to jump on the notion that this was, in fact, their culprit. Quote, "It's strange," filmmaker Carla Flores told newspaper. He told Telemundo that. Telemundo is reporting on this. Okay. It looks like a dog, but it has a hump towards the back. Looking at the images, it has the same positioning that a Chupacabra has. So he obviously a Chupacabra expert. And so we'll take a look at this footage right now on screen, and we'll take a look and see what they're filming here. So what we're looking at in the middle of the screen, drones flying over. I'm going to say it looks almost to be like 75 feet off the ground, and there is some sort of like creature on the ground in the middle of this open field. Now they're showing more of the interview with the woman than the creature. Show us the creature. They're not dwelling on the creature. Like, that drone should have, like, got down close to it. Like, there it is on screen. What a horrible piece of drone footage. You might have the most significant footage of your entire life and you don't dip down 40 feet to get a close-up of this creature?
Bullshit.
It's tough to tell. It was silhouetted. It could have been a dog with mange. It could have been a chupacabra. We'll never know. Jesus
Let's
Christ.
get really close, but you're going to have to squint super hard.
Come
We don't want
on.
any high fidelity video. We don't want a clear picture, damn it.
My God. And they don't even show like the entire footage on the news. They literally showed 10 seconds of it. You know the woman had much more footage. Hopefully she zoomed in. Hopefully she got close enough. And wouldn't it be fascinating if you got the drone in close enough to where it freaked out the chupacabra and you got to see it run? Like you got to see its actual gait, its locomotion?
Yeah, you see it climb a tree.
Something.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, see what it runs off to? Like you would imagine it's going to run home. It's scared. Follow it there. But no, we didn't get any of that information. Okay.
Tired of all these blurry drone shots. Get in there. Oh my God. Satellites should be able to count the fucking hairs on its ass. Want to get in there.
I got another headline here for everyone. I'll bring this up on screen. Here we go. And there's the headline here. Man shoots himself by accident during dream about being robbed.
Man, I got mixed emotions about this one.
A man from Illinois recently ended up in the hospital after sleep shooting himself while dreaming that there was an intruder.
God, that's the worst.
I mean, that's crazy. How close was his gun to the bed? Like, I have a gun near my bed, but it's underneath the bed. I know I can get down there in a hurry if I need to, but it's not in, like, I would have to really fumble around if I was sleeping to really do it. I'm assuming, I haven't read the article yet, that this person was, in fact, sleepwalking in some capacity. And then maybe the gun was already loaded, and then maybe he shot himself. We'll find out. We've all heard of some of the unfortunate calamities that have ensued during an unintentional bout with sleepwalking, but you've never heard of someone actually shooting themselves while asleep. This is a bizarre scenario that befell Illinois resident Mark Dykara recently. Dykara has been sleeping soundly in his bed when all of a sudden he grabbed his gun and fired off a round into his own leg, all while totally unconscious.
Bullshit.
When police officers arrived on the scene, they discovered that the bullet had been traveling straight through his leg and had lodged itself in the bedding. Incredibly, it turned out that the reason for this mishap was the fact that Darcia had been having a dream in which he was being robbed. Instead of simply dreaming that he had been shot by the intruders, he actually picked up a real weapon and attempted to shoot them, all while sound asleep. Even though he hadn't been shot by anybody else, however, he still ended up in trouble with the police because it turned out that he didn't have the appropriate permit to possess a gun in the first place.
Rookie moves.
Yeah, in Illinois, they're pretty strict over there in Illinois about owning guns. And
this is also an argument for why you should probably not roll around with loaded firearms in your house. To each their own, but here's a good example of what could go down.
Yeah, I get that you'll want to have a loaded weapon all the time, but maybe it's not that good.
I also get the feeling like there's something. What's that drug that's Roseanne? Ambien, that's the one. Yeah,
Ambien. You can do some messed up stuff on the Ambien. If you don't go to sleep, like when you feel tired and you push past it, and then you just go into basically blackout state, and then you're really not in control. You have no memory of what you do while Ambien is still active in your body. You're awake, but you're not. It's almost like you're drunk and you're blackout. Something like that. Yeah, I think you have more motor skills. Mode. Yeah, zombie mode. And this guy, maybe this is just his excuse. Maybe he was laying in bed. He had his gun in his hand. He went to like, I gotta itch on my leg. I'm going to scratch it with my gun. I'm serious. And he was that stupid and did that and blasted himself in the leg.
Legs aren't even all that valuable in the human body part price
No, they're
chart.
not. I think they go for like $700.
If
Get that switched out for less than $1,000. Easy
Effectively
peasy.
useless. You know?
Yeah. That's with the foot included.
I would say that he was scratching himself. He shot himself in the leg on accident, and he concocted this I was sleepwalking thing to avoid looking completely stupid. He's still going to probably face some sort of penalty from the Illinois legal system, but it might not be as severe. So he wouldn't be charged with like reckless endangerment, possibly. I don't know. Like when you actually shoot yourself, they probably could charge you with a bunch of other things like some sort of like neglect or being reckless. But if you were declared that you were sleeping and this is part of like a medical condition, you might have a little bit more leniency when you're facing the judge or the prosecutor.
It's almost like an insanity plea.
Yes. Yeah.
I was sleeping.
Yeah, it wasn't
my
me.
sleeping plea.
Yeah.
Wasn't me. It wasn't my fault.
Something like that. Well, it sounds like it's a clever story. We'll see how it plays out. And
Let it go.
Yeah.
Please don't shoot yourself.
That is not medical advice. Oh, wait. I mean, it is medical advice.
It is.
It is not.
Yes.
I'll bring this up on screen because we love our president, Joe Biden. I know I do. I wish he could run forever for president, but
man, the greatest of all time.
He's one of the best. He keeps on giving, and most recently he had a speech, and he likes to end speeches in a very Biden-esque way, and this is what he had to say.
Joe Biden left Americans scratching their heads with an off-the-cuff remark really unusual for a U.S. president. God save the Queen, man. No one could immediately tell what he meant, which Queen he was referring to, and why he threw in what sounded like a traditional patriotic British cry. Now, Biden had just completed an impassioned speech in Connecticut on getting Congress to toughen gun ownership laws.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask the White House photographer to come up, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to stand. I usually shake everybody's hand, but I'm going to stand in front of each section. No, I really mean it. And then,
not a joke.
And if you can see the camera, they can see you. And it's the least consequential part of this whole meeting for you. I promise. All right? God save the Queen, man.
Oh my
He is
God.
not doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Now, UK's Queen Elizabeth II, whom Biden met, died in September of 2022 and was replaced by a king, her son Charles. The cool journalist responsible for following the president all day on his travels couldn't help. He messaged the worldwide group of outlets receiving pull reports and said, "I have no idea what he might have said that." Now, later, the White House Principal Deputy Press Secretary somewhat cleared up the mystery. Olivia Dalton told reporters that Biden had been commenting to someone in the crowd. The Queen of Connecticut, however, was not immediately identified. Now, Biden spoke on the anniversary of last year's legislation that tightened gun access. It was signed a few weeks after a gunman took the lives of...
Come on. Like, God save the Queen, like the Queen of Connecticut. I've never heard of the Queen of Connecticut.
She's a backbone like a ramrod.
I would like to meet the Queen of Connecticut.
Me too.
I bet she's real freaky.
Yes, I would hope so.
Connecticut is a strange place.
That's a serious question, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if it is. Like, so the God save the Queen right there. And honestly, after the Queen's death, wouldn't you imagine as like the number one U.S. diplomat, Joe Biden, like he's like, hey, he's our commander in chief. He's the guy. You wouldn't want to say that, like, considering the Queen died really not that long ago. Regardless if the Queen of Connecticut is there, is that like the Sausage King of Chicago? Maybe.
Biden is the Abe Froman of presidents.
Yes, he's like the Abe Froman. That's who he's calling out. He meant to call it the Sausage King of Chicago. He just got a little confused.
God bless the Sausage King.
That would be Obama, actually.
Oh, it might be, yeah. So there you go.
Cheese equals kissing.
But honestly, like Biden versus Arnold, what do you think here? You think Arnold would make that mistake? I don't think so. Arnold would not end a speech saying "God save the Queen." He wouldn't do that. He's too American for that. So.
Absolutely. You know, we went to war with England once to get independence from. I don't need to see my president paying homage to any queen of any kind.
No, Arnold
cast that off.
Arnold would say this:
I'm going to take a shit.
I'm going to take a shit. And that's what he says. It's a powerful American pastime, is taking a crap.
I can hear the debate already.
People are coming because I'm the nice guy. That's the reason why it's happening.
He's the nice guy. That's why people are coming.
And most of them come with the phone number.
Yes, this is true. Obama asked him to come.
When President Obama asked me to come and deal.
No, come and deal.
He's such a fast talker.
He's deliberate. He's deliberate.
The peninsulate confidence guy.
He's a deliberate man, and he says what he means. And we know that about Biden. All right.
It's not a joke.
Let's do
not a joke.
One more headline here. We're going to do one more. And got to cover this. Like we do tend to cover this kind of news on OBDM for some reason. I don't know why, but we do.
Police say most of the victims of this vandalism have one.
I'll bring this up so you guys can hear that over there. Let me find it. Here we go. Oh my god. I want to stay away from this kind of news. Like I think when we get to the New Kingdom, I'm not going to cover this kind of news. We have to move away from it. But for now, here we are.
Vandalism have one thing in common. NBC Connecticut's Jeremy Chen is live in Middletown with Connecticut's Jeremy.
Yeah, Mike, police are saying all of them had pride flags prominently displayed on their property, and police say they've gotten reports of vandalism coming in since Tuesday, and they're investigating them as possible hate crimes. As Jacob Horn was helping his wife go to work Tuesday morning, he got a nasty surprise when they got to the car.
Someone had smeared food. It looked like a box of mac and cheese had been poured into the front window area.
This act of vandalism wasn't the first at his Middletown home, as the same car was hit back in March.
Someone had put some dog feces into the driver's side handle of the car, and so we had to clean that up.
A few blocks away on Wednesday, a vandal smeared feces on this car, writing in a racial slur. The car's owner's friend took the picture and reported the vandalism to police.
It's just disgusting at this point. It's traumatizing and disgusting. I really felt bad for her.
Middletown police say these acts of vandalism are among the 5 reports happening in a span of 3 days in the same area. The majority of them involving feces being smeared on either vehicles or homes. Officers say all the targeted victims had pride flags prominently displayed on their property. Horn says that's frustrating to hear.
When you have people who are bad actors who are going out and trying to push back against a narrative of acceptance and inclusion, then that absolutely has to be fought against.
Police say they're investigating the series of vandalism as a possible hate crime with this message to the community.
We're going to do our best to figure out who this is so that people can actually feel safe and not be concerned about having their pride flags and all their paraphernalia there.
Horn says Middletown is a broadly accepting city and says he'll keep on preaching that theme.
It's disappointing to see that people are so filled with disdain, maybe hate, I don't know, but that we've got to keep pushing forward toward a better world.
Now, police say right now they have no suspects, but are encouraging anyone with any sort of information on these vandalisms to contact them. Live in Middletown, Jeremy Chen, NBC Connecticut News. Keisha, I'll send it back to you.
Hulk, do you want some gloves for that?
Hulk Hogan loves to smear feces on people's windows.
Absolutely no words for what's going on today. I'm actually a school shooting survivor myself. It happened years ago.
Jesus.
I was in 8th grade, and
It's just playing the next story there, isn't it?
That escalated quickly. Listen, I'm a survivor of a school shooting. I know what it's like to have feces smeared on my car window.
That was a completely unrelated story there. But we've covered so this
Connecticut's
is
known for school shootings.
not like a new thing. We covered a series of traumatic events in Akron that we labeled the Akron Pooper, where a person was taking a crap or a dump on people's cars in a particular neighborhood. And they got some footage of the person, some grainy trail cam footage, and I don't know if they ever caught the individual. And those kind of things happen throughout the country. Now, it appears to be targeting people that are associated with the LGBTQ plus movement. We don't know for a fact. That's all the people that they interview. I suspect that the people that really love to smear crap on people's window, they just like to do it to anybody. And sometimes, at least in the case of the Akron Pooper, it does appear to be targeted to some individuals. And there may be some kind of grudge involved, but undetermined. Really undetermined.
Oh, come on. This Connecticut guy, he definitely put poop on his own car.
You think so?
I agree
this
with
guy,
Lavish here.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Just looking at him with his stupid glasses and the way that he
You're talking about bad actors.
Oh my god!
You think this is a false flag?
I
think it's an inside job.
All right.
He was a self-pooping.
Repeatedly going to the bathroom in front yards since 2014.
All right. Yeah, habitual.
And this sort of occurrence isn't uncommon, where some sort of purported hate crime happens to an individual. We give it 3 to 6 weeks, and boom, starts to come out that they
did it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Okay.
The old juicy sommelier.
Yeah.
The infamous serial pooper.
Well,
serial defecator.
I got a lot of these
cereal in the poop,
aka doo-doo butt.
AKA doo-doo butt.
Keep an eye out for that old doo-doo butt.
Neighborhood nuisance.
He's a neighborhood nuisance. All right, guys. I think we're getting out of here. I gotta go to a birthday party.
Ooh. Birthday party.
Yay.
Woo. Gemini season, baby.
Yeah, it is. Nieces and nephews. They are Geminis. My God, I'm surrounded by Geminis.
Hey, man. It's a breath of fresh air.
Are you a Gemini?
I am.
You're a Gemini. What about Boo Berry over there?
I'm a Leo.
Oh, my God. Yeah. You're a Leo. You seem like a Leo.
Big Leo energy.
Big cat energy.
I'm all riled up.
Well, thank you guys, Boo Berry and Lavish from the Behind the Schemes podcast. Where can people find you?
We're over at badradio.live. That is a URL. Or you can check us out at Behind the Schemes, sch3m3s.com. Do a live show every Monday night, both there and on the No Agenda stream.
Yeah.
That's right. bts.lol also works.
Okay.
Super valid URL as well. Yeah. .lol.
People can find us at obdmpod.com or ourbigdumbmouth.com and check the podcast description for links to articles and notes about the show and links to Behind the Schemes. So check that out. Cretchage should be back on Wednesday. It is unknown if Joe will return. But once we do, we will be going to the New Kingdom and we'll be making that journey. And that means that there are going to be some big changes around here. I don't know exactly what that means, but it means something.
Wrong.
It does. There's going to be some big changes around here. We'll all get to the New Kingdom together and make sure everyone is nice, safe, and secure. If you want to support the show, go to the podcast website. And there's various ways to donate and interact with us. We're also on Twitter at OBDM Pod and on Instagram at OBDM Pod. So check us out there. Thank you to the No Agenda stream for hosting us today. We really appreciate that big time. And we'll be back Wednesday, I think. You guys have any parting words for people?
Just try out one of those new podcast apps, podcastapps.com, all using the new specs for RSS feeds. Good stuff. A lot of fun and exciting stuff in the pipeline.
All right. Well, hey, thank you, Lavish. Thank you, Booberry. Shablagoo to everyone out there.
Thanks, Mike.
Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Brought to you by Pfizer. Brought to you by Pfizer. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Drugs or sex?
Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
That's about all.
Shablagoo. Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Shut the chocolate!
Until next week, Nanu.